Okay, welcome back to Little Solar School here. So I'm going to show you how to make jumpers for an Enphase system. So the tools that you're going to need are some wire snips, MC4 crimp tool. Don't cheap out on the MC4 crimp tool, and just an X-Acto blade to cut here. So basically what we're doing here is we have 8 panels that are located right here, and then another 4 panels that are over there. And in order for these trunk cables to make it over there, we need a jumper cable, which is this guy right there, and feeds in over there, and Chino's working on it right now. So the first thing that we want to do is unsheath the wire and make sure that we have enough exposed wire. So we want it to look just like this. I have this coming off the microinverter, did a snip. So this one I am going to have a female connector, and this one I'm going to have a male connector. In terms of supplies, you're going to need a female pack and a male pack that's located right here. I just don't want it to kind of fall off the roof. So that's what you're going to need. So the first thing that we are going to do is take off this sheath right here. So just grab your blade tool and just kind of fire down the middle of the conductors here. Boom. All right, that looks pretty good, and just about that much exposed wire, enough to work with, keeping everything within reason. It really doesn't matter how much we snip off in the initial kind of part. What really matters is when we actually make the connections. So go ahead and grab your snips, and we'll use a little bit of black tape at the end to kind of seal it up, but this is looking pretty good. Here, this little piece of string is bothering me, so we'll just kind of, looks like I need a new blade as well. All right, that looks fantastic. So like I said before, this is going to have a female, and this is going to have a male. Now that everything's unsheathed, go grab your wire snips, and just about a 1/4 inch we're going to take off of each of the leads here, our positive and negative. So grab that, and another 1/4 inch right there. Grab that, chuck it, another 1/4 inch right there, and chuck it, and another 1/4 inch right there, and chuck it. So we have plenty of conductor to work with here, just enough, and I'm going to show you exactly how much you need in 1 second. All right, so let's hop into our bag and grab our female conductors here. So the first thing that we want to do is undo the housing and get that nice and through one. And then what we'll go ahead and do is feed these conductors in right like this. Just push this all the way through. If you bend a couple copper wires, you can also strip everything before you push it through. Technically, that's probably what you should do. Somebody in the comments is going to get me for it, but I mean, that's okay. All right, so we got those conductors looking perfect right there. And then what we'll see in our pack is we have our kind of conductor sheaths for the MC4s that go right there. Now, so the total MC4 distance is we want it to be basically equal. We don't want it going into the housing like that. We want it just about that much, right? So we can see that this is a perfect amount. So we're going to go ahead and put those on. All right, I got an MC4 in my mouth, so apologize for if the audio is a little bit different. Here, I can set this down right here. Just make sure I don't lose it. Grab this housing, and this is the same as an MC4 for a solar edge system. Separate our conductors here, insert our conductor, squeeze down, tug test, that's good. Grab our second one for our female lead, squeeze down on it so we're holding it right in place, slide it in like so, crimp it down so it's nice and tight, tug test. Okay, these two are looking gravy. So once we have our conductors on, we just line them up like so, slide them in, and you'll hear a click, and we just want to make sure that our positive and our negative, right, little tug test, and we're good to go there. So that's good. Slide that into the housing like so, pull this buffer, okay, and twist this on. Now when you're twisting, be sure that we're not putting strain on the actual connections themselves. We're just kind of turning the nut itself, and there we go. That is one female connector that is connected to our microinverter. Let's go ahead and make a male connection, and the male connector is the exact same process as the female connector. So we want to put what we're securing it down with right there, and we want to slide our conductors through, make sure that this all goes through. And like I said, you should probably strip these after we slide through everything, but I mean, just as long as the conductors are all good and everything's crimped, we should be good there. Okay, so that looks fantastic, and this is the same distance as the other one, so we don't need to remeasure them. Go into the pack here and open up these, and we will MC4 these. Put that right there. All right, got that. Bend this out of the way. Crimp that one down. Tug test, good. Load up the second one and crimp that down. That's looking good. Tug test, perfect. Grab the male connector housing, and we're gonna do the same thing here. We just slide these in. You'll hear a click. Tug test. We're good to go there. That will click in. Watertight buffer. Put that right there and twist this into place. And there's our male connector, and here's our female connector. We'll go ahead and connect these, and that is how we make a jumper for an Enphase system.
Tonight's report, it feels good.